Hey there, Empower Her family. Welcome back to another episode of the Empower Her Business podcast, the show where we help women entrepreneurs build strategic, soul aligned businesses that they love. Today, I'm here and I'm excited to introduce you to someone whose message is going to hit home, literally. We're talking about the powerful connection between home organization and business success, especially for those that are running our businesses right from our living rooms, our offices, our home offices, or even our kitchen counters when needed. So, my guest is the amazing Jennifer Q. Williams. She's the founder and owner of St. Louis Closet Co., one of the largest custom closet companies in the U.S. With over 34 years of experience, she's a true trailblazer in the organization industry and an inspiration as a business owner who understands how clarity at home leads to confidence in our businesses. So whether you're juggling client calls between school drop-offs or trying to just stay focused in a cluttered home office space, this episode is going to give you practical tips and major aha moments. So let's dive in. All right, welcome, Jennifer. Let's start with your story. What inspired you to start St. Louis Closet Co., and how has organization played a role in your journey as an entrepreneur?
Well, good morning, Philippa, and all your listeners. I'm just so excited to be here with you today from St. Louis, Missouri. So- Okay, so as you said, I own a company called St. Louis Closet Company. Basically, what we do is we design, we manufacture, and we install custom closets and organizational systems throughout the whole home and office. So, what got me started? Well, I was 25 years old and I was going to graduate school for communications. Like a lot of graduate students, I really had no idea what I wanted to do. And I got a part time job. A friend of mine from high school moved here from California and he opened up a custom closet company. He said, Jennifer, you would love this. So I was like, okay. So I went to work there and it was one of those things where the light switch just went off, right? I fell in love with what I was doing. Organization had always been really, really important to me. And my mom jokes that I was organizing my closet in middle school. But I was just like, this is it. This is the thing that I'm really good at. And I saw this huge benefit to my customers. So I decided immediately this is what I was going to do. So I dropped out of graduate school. I quit working for the other closet company. I wrote a business plan and I just jumped in. I was 25 years old. I did not have a lot of equity. I didn't have a big savings account. I didn't have a cosigner, but I was able to get a small business administration loan to get started. And the rest is history. I just, the idea of being organized really encompasses, I think, your entire life, your entire day, from the time you wake up until the time you go to bed. And if you can start your day off organized, think about it. When you start your day off, you're usually at your closet, right? You got to get dressed. And if that is a good feeling, if that makes you feel stress free, you're organized, it really starts your day off. So that's how I got started. And over the last 34 years, I have just seen more and more and more how many lives that we've transformed, not by just building pretty shelving and cabinetry, which it's beautiful, but it's functional. And I think it really does change your life. I know I'm a little biased, but I believe that every single person should have a custom closet. I mean, it changes your life. It really does.
I know sometimes just daydreaming as I'm walking by like places like IKEA and seeing like their display of their closet setups. I'm like, I would love a setup like that. And my husband keeps saying, I'll build you something. And I'm like, I trust his expertise, but so yeah, I totally relate to that first thing in the morning, seeing an organized space. Because that does, when I walk you through, I have the benefit and the privilege, but also the frustration of, I'm sharing a home with my husband and three kids. So no matter how much I want a clean space, it's not just up to me. There's other people in the house. And so passing through other areas that aren't as clean and organized as I like it does impact how I show up for work between walking from my bedroom upstairs to my basement office. So I feel it.
Absolutely. Well, and then, like you said, other people in the household, having them organized as well. They say Rubbermaid did a study a few years ago that said if you have an organized closet, it will save you 10 minutes a day, right? That's over an hour a week. Well, imagine if your husband's organized, your kids are organized, your pantry's organized, the area inside the back door where you come and go, the drop zone, as it's called, where everybody brings their coats, their shoes, their sporting equipment, their book bags, their keys, their purses. If that area is organized, everybody in the house flows better, right? The mornings go better, the evenings go better. Everybody knows where their stuff is. So, whether you have a custom closet or not, just being organized with a system, whether it's, this is where shoes go, this is where coats go, this is where, just an organized system. And I think it all starts with decluttering, right? I think that we live in a society right now where we have too much stuff. We tend to buy too much. We shop at big box stores. We shop online. There's this whole craze with fast fashion. Um, and we buy too much stuff. And then we can't really get through the clutter to even sort of see what it is that we need to organize. So starting small, a lot of people ask me, well, how do I even get started? How does this even work? And I always say start small, right? Start with a coat closet. Start with a junk drawer in your kitchen. Start with something small. Don't decide, oh, we're going to organize our entire house this weekend and throw everybody into, a tiz. Just start small, get one area organized. And then all of a sudden, that feeling, it's this internal feeling that you're like, I am organized. I can do this. This is amazing. Look how great this one little closet looks. And then it starts flowing into other areas of your life, right? And whether you work from home or whether you work from an office, imagine if you have this peaceful, organized, accomplished feeling at your home. You walk into your desk and you're like, okay, I've got this, right? I've got the world today. We can do this. And then you start organizing your desk and you create systems for filing paper or create organized systems for emails or photos on your phone. Electronic organization has become a whole new aspect of our world. And I'm guilty. I think I have over 40,000 photos on my phone. And you try to find a photo and you can't find it no matter how hard you try. So it really starts to filter in through every aspect of your life.
I love that idea of starting small, making it so much easier. And I guess I know we want to get some questions and that are more business related, so my entrepreneurs can figure out how to apply this to their businesses. But one question want to ask is, we talk about other family members and also starting small. Like, how does it work with incorporating other family members into this process of decluttering different areas? And I guess it also kind of two-part question is, what about like the standards of organization? Because what is organized to me may not be what organized to my husband or my kids mean. So we may have different perspectives of what an organized space looks like.
Right, exactly. Well, and that's going to always be right. You may love the color blue and someone else may love the color green. You can't change that. However, you can start with with your kids. I mean, I tell all of my customers that, when kids go to school, whether it's in preschool or kindergarten, they have a locker, right? They know when they walk in to school in the morning, their stuff goes in their locker. And they seem totally fine with that. They know to hang up their coat there, put their book bag there. And even all the way through high school, right? Kids have lockers. They understand having a system in place. So if you start by building systems for people to use, kids actually love organization. And it's such a great time in their life to start getting organized because then it'll carry on through their life. And then when they go to college, they may be more organized with their time management, more organized in their tiny little dorm room or whatever it is. And then that I think, leads into a successful adulthood with careers and, starting their own families. So having the systems in place. It's one thing to tell your kid, go clean up your room, right? And if they don't have anywhere to go with the stuff, so they open their closet and there's just a big open floor, you don't have maybe baskets or drawers or cubbies or any place. So they just shove everything in, they throw it all in there and they close the door. Well, that's not how you and I would say clean your room, but we haven't given them a system. And men are a lot like kids, right? Give them a place. So if you have shoe shelves built into your closets or your entryway, right? The shoes go on a shelf. So that's, now do they always get them on the shelf? Not always, but all of a sudden now they have a place and you can be like, put your shoes on your shoe shelves as opposed to just clean up your room. Like, what does clean up your room mean? Little kids love to organize, right? They love baskets that they can see their toys and their stuffed animals and even their clothes. Letting them sort of gain this independence when they're young is really, really a benefit.
Yes. And so my what I was thinking too when you were saying is going back to a comment you made earlier about, just everybody purchasing a lot more, buying more stuff. I try to encourage my family, everybody in my family to say, okay, when you're considering buying something, is figuring out what's the place? Where is this thing going to live once we get it back to the house? Because I feel like that is something that people don't think about is, they just get the thing and then there's not like a place like where this lives in the house and where is it put away? Um, so I'm like, if you don't know where it's gonna live yet, don't buy it yet. Let's figure it out
Exactly.
first.
Well, and with kids grow so quickly, right? I mean, they outgrow their clothes, their shoes so fast sometimes. It's crazy. And sort of doing a good job of making sure when you do bring in new things that you get rid of old things that no longer fit them or maybe are worn out or have holes. Donate, right? I mean, we try to run some type of, partnership with a charity as often as we can so that people can have a place to donate stuff they no longer wear. Right now, we're running a partnership with Dress for Success, which allows women who maybe don't have money to buy a nice outfit for an interview. So I'm asking my clients to bring in, their dresses, their suits, their dress pants, their shoes, their purses, and it gives them a feeling of, oh, this is great, right? It's hard to just throw something away because you're like, oh, it's still really good. I mean, I might wear it someday. But if you have a place to donate that you know is going to make someone else's life better, it makes decluttering a lot easier. And especially kids stuff, because kids grow so fast that they really do outgrow their stuff. And then we wind up hanging on to stuff because it's more of an emotional thing, right? Like, oh, I remember when you wore that cute little dress and we don't want to get rid of it. Well, but if it doesn't fit anymore and you don't have any other little girls coming up, what are you going to do with that dress? So you have to sort of really, really go through the things. And there's the one in and one out rule, right? If you're going to bring in a new pair of black pants, we'll get rid of an old pair of black pants. Things like that.
Yeah. That's so good. That's so good. All right. So I like the idea of bringing it back to women entrepreneurs. That is awesome that you have that set up to be able to provide those clothes for women in need in those precious moments where they're trying to either do job interviews, start their business. That's amazing. So when we're talking about women entrepreneurs, which is most of my audience, um, can you help break down why home organization is so crucial for business success? Like, especially in our home setting when we're home and trying to run our business.
Well, absolutely. I mean, and when we touched on it a little bit, right? When you start your day off organized, you feel more empowered to sort of kick off your day. There's the thing if you make your bed in the morning, that, you're more likely to become a millionaire. Um, because I think it's just and being organized is the same thing, right? It's starting the day off, you're in control, right? You feel like you have mastered the organization part of your life. You walked into your closet, you've picked out what you're going to wear, you can see your clothes, you can see your shoes, you get dressed easier, quicker, faster. You're not stressed out by this pile of shoes on the floor and you just start your day off on a better foot. So, whether you're working for home or you're going to the office, you walk out of your closet just feeling more confident. And I think that that confidence then sort of trickles into everything you do, right? I mean, it's like you just feel like I can handle anything, right? I mean, my closet's in great shape. I mean, look how good I look today, right? I put on this outfit and my shoes match and I'm not all wrinkled and I feel great in my clothes. So I just feel like it gives you the confidence to then take on your business, right? If we all know, like we'll have a stressful morning, some catastrophe happens, whatever. You wake up, the hot water heater doesn't work, right? And you can't take a shower, and then like it seems like on days like that, every single thing then trickles down from that disaster in the morning, and you just can't ever really get on top of it. So if you can control the organization of your home, your closet, your life, your bathroom drawers, whatever it is, you just feel like, okay, I got this, right? I can it's a confidence builder. It relieves stress, it saves time. So all of those things add up to starting your day off as a business owner much more in control and ready to take on because as we both know as women business owners, running a business is stressful and things happen all the time and you have to make decisions all day long. So if you're coming in the morning with a clear mind and you just feel good about the organization of your family. And then like I said, it's not only your closet. Then all of a sudden you think, "Oh, well let's get the pantry organized so we can get breakfast earlier. And let's get that drop zone organized." And then all of a sudden it's like, "Let's clean out the car." Let's like, maybe you're driving to work and your car is all organized for the first time and you're like, "Oh, this feels great," right? It just sort of snowballs, exactly.
What are some of the common mistakes or organizational traps that you see women entrepreneurs fall into when they're trying to think about organizing their space? And how can they avoid these different mistakes or traps?
Well, sometimes I think that, we get on the organization bandwagon, we get all excited about stuff, and then we don't really have a master plan, right? We start looking online and maybe we'll order some little plastic organizers from Amazon or we'll order a little file box for our desk. And then we order, a business card holder and all of these things together independently may be a nice little organizational tool. But when you start bringing in all these little things without having a master plan, all of a sudden now you step back and you've spent a lot of money, a lot of time, and you've just created more clutter. I tell my clients all the time, especially with their closets, it's like, have a custom closet company come out and give you a free estimate, right? Stand back, look at the entire project as a whole before you start going out and buying, oh, let's just buy a over the door shoe organizer, or let's buy some clear plastic boxes. And all these little things over time really add up in cost. And maybe they're not actually going to help you with the master plan, right? So it's sort of step back and look at the whole process. Obviously, decluttering is different, right? Because decluttering, you can do that without any tools, without another company, without building shelving. You can just pull the things out and really start going through them. So I recommend decluttering first and then be careful not getting too overzealous with purchasing of, little fast, cute organizer type things that may be a nice tool for one part of your desk or your closet. But then when you start adding on and adding on and adding on, all of a sudden you just have more clutter.
Yeah, but they're so cute.
They're so cute, and there is a place for a lot of them. But once again, it goes back to setting up a system, right? You want to have a system in place before you start sort of coming in and attacking that system from all different sides, right? It's like a little shoe organizer might be great, but are all your shoes going to fit on there? Right? Are your boots that are taller than, sneakers going to fit on there? Maybe a little purse organizer is great, but is that going to work for your big duffel bags? So I think that all these you know, little cutesy organizing things, there's definitely a place for them, but you have to sort of look at the entire project as a whole.
Yes, I absolutely love that. And I love the advice of having an expert come in and kind of give them a consultation so they can kind of assess where they need to start. Because I can imagine a lot of women can feel overwhelmed by this process. By the idea of organizing their
Yes.
homes, and even if they're starting with a room, it can be overwhelming. So, in addition to getting that free consultation from an expert coming in, what else can they do to begin the process?
Well, there's, in addition to custom closet companies like my business, there's professional organizers. And professional organizers, are much more of a service, right? They sell their service by the hour where they come in and they will help you go through your stuff. Most people have a hard time decluttering their own things, right? We like I said earlier, we're emotional about things. We think we might wear it again later. And we think, oh well, yeah, I know that's ripped, but I'll have it fixed later. So a professional organizer can come in and really sort of, hold up each item. Like, do you really think you're going to wear this? Or, try it on first. And even as organized as I am, and I am super organized, I still had a professional organizer who was also a stylist come in and just spend 1 4-hour session with me. And, I was like, I had lost some weight and I was hanging on to my old clothes and I hadn't really, gotten into my new clothes yet. And I thought, well, this will be helpful because she'll help me just go through, and say, keep this, get rid of this. Well, talk about hardcore. She made me take every single thing out of my closet and literally try them on. And
Wow.
she's like, and you and I, if we're going to go clean out our closet, we're not going to go to that level. But having someone else from the outside help you go through that, it made a difference. And she was honest with me. She's like, Jennifer, that looks bad on you. Don't keep it. Right? Like, don't keep that. It is out of style. It doesn't fit. Let's donate that. So starting, even though I think it's easier to declutter maybe like your pantry because you can easily go through and pull out, expired spices. It's maybe easier to declutter your garage or your kids' playroom. But when it comes to your closet or your desk, it's a little bit harder. So maybe hiring a professional organizer to get started, get it decluttered, then call in a custom closet company to come in and design, a space and shelving and drawers or a home office that's going to work for you.
That is definitely a good way to go about it, because then you're really assured about the whole process and each step of the way. You've got the help you need. One tip and advice that another coworker of mine gave me years ago, which I feel like you may have heard already, so let me know. But in terms of doing the clothes and decluttering your clothes, it's definitely hard because, yeah, it's hard to see, especially if it's not organized, what you're actually wearing. And so what she recommends is at some point in the year, if it's, you start now, then today's the day you start, but you go in your closet and you turn the hangers like backwards. And then each time you wear it and you hang it back up, you put the hanger back the right way. And then by the end, this time next year, whenever you start after a year, if there's still hangers reversed, that way you go through all the seasons. So if you have all seasons still hung up in your closet, you go through a whole year of wearing clothes. And if the hanger's still reversed, that means you never wore it and you need to get rid of it because that means it's not lighting you up. So yeah, I don't know if you've heard that tip before.
Absolutely. And there's all types of tips, right? I find that people hang on to and have too many t-shirts and sweatshirts. It's like, you get a t-shirt every time you, whatever, sign up for an auction, go for a 5K, go to your kid's school charity event, whatever it is, there's t-shirts for everything or sweatshirts. We have too many of them and they take up a lot of space. So what I always say is, I understand you're not ready to get rid of those now because they all have, a meaning or a memory. Put them into a plastic tub and store them in the attic or store them in the basement. And at any point in time in that next year, if you feel like, oh, I really want to wear that sweatshirt, I really need that t-shirt, then you can go down and get it because you haven't gotten rid of it. But after a year, I find that 99% of my clients are like, you know what? I didn't even think about those things anymore. I loved the extra space and organization I got in my closet. So I realized I don't need those things anymore. So physically removing them from your eyesight, but not removing them permanently. It's sort of a semi-permanent removal. And that's a good way to help people. The 1 in, 1 out rule is a great way. Having, somebody come in and help you. Maybe it's just a friend who, is really organized in their life and they can come in and help you.
That is perfect. I love that idea of just the 1 in, 1 out helps so much because then it helps keep you really focused on what pieces of clothes or whatever you're, bringing into the house. Do you really need something new? Because if it's not really broken or worn out, do you really need something new? So I like that. It forces you to really think about each purchase.
Right.
And I know we are in the start of spring. depending on when this airs, we're probably still in the spring season. And a lot of people are doing spring cleaning. So what's something somebody who's listening to this message is inspired, they're ready to start cleaning up, one thing they can do this week to get started in their home or their workspace or their closet, wherever they want to get started?
Oh, wow. There's so many. There's so many one things, right? I have so many ideas. Okay. So let's just start because I think it's easy, right? The pantry. Go into your pantry, take everything out, and just look at expiration dates. Don't look at if you really are going to cook and make that cake or so what was the last time you made pasta at home or whatever. Just look at expiration dates and eliminate, and spices do expire, which a lot of people don't realize. Get rid of everything that is expired and then go to your bathroom and go through your makeup and your makeup brushes. That is something that women in particular, well, obviously, we have so much of it, but we tend to hang on to things and makeup expires. You can Google, how long you should keep mascara? How long should you keep foundation? Some things last a lot longer.
Yeah, it's a lot shorter than people think.
A lot shorter. And, really go through it. I mean, you just tend to hang on. So get rid of anything that you think might be, expired or old or you don't use anymore. So, once again, pick areas, right, that are easy, right? Go do just one of your kids' closets, right? Let's go through on a Saturday afternoon and figure out what fits you, what doesn't fit you. I think a coat closet is probably the biggest catch-all of clutter in people's houses because, coats don't usually get worn out, right? They're not like a pair of running sneakers that really get worn out. You can tell. You wear coats, but you don't really wear them out, especially kids, right? They outgrow them before they're worn out. So go through your coat closet with your family, make everybody try on every coat that's theirs in there, and then decide because what a better thing to donate than a coat because, people need warm winter wear, year round. Another area is your cleaning supplies.
Yes.
And people don't think about that. It's spring cleaning and you go into your cleaning closet or maybe your basement or your garage and you've got half empty bottles of Windex that could be combined. You've got Swiffer boxes that are empty that you thought had one more in it. Go through your cleaning rags. Are they ripped to shreds? I mean, go through area by area by area. Don't say I'm going to take on my whole house, but be like, you know what? Okay, we're going to do cleaning supplies. It's spring cleaning. Let's, how many mops and brooms do you have that are broken or you don't really use or you bought it and it just didn't work the way you thought it was going to work? So, all of those are just one time, maybe an hour commitment and it just gets you started. And once you get started and you start feeling this accomplishment, you just get so excited and you want to do it more.
Yes. Okay. I'm excited to get started because I know we definitely have areas in our home that need to be cleaned out. And I know it definitely impacts me when I show up for work every day. So this is good timing for me, and I'm sure a lot of other people. So I know you are focused in St. Louis, right?
Yes, we're in St. Louis, Missouri. Yes.
So most of my listeners are kind of on the East Coast, so they may not be going all the way to you for services, but do you have any way that you can just continue to feed into people? Is there a way for them to connect and get to know you better outside of this conversation?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, anybody can email me and it's Jennifer at stlouisclosetco.com, which our website is stlouisclosetco.com. We just service the metropolitan St. Louis area, but there are custom closet companies all around the United States. There's plenty on the East Coast. I do always really, really recommend try to find the locally owned closet company, right? I'm a big supporter of locally owned small businesses. And I feel like you just get better service. You're supporting your community and it makes everybody, it's a win-win. So search out the locally owned closet company in your area. Get a free estimate. Most closet companies offer free estimates and, just get started. But you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Pinterest.
Perfect. I thank you so much for your time, for your expertise, your advice. This has been really good. Again, really timely. And I'm so glad we connected.
Thanks, Philippa. And thanks for everybody who's listening. I'd love to hear from anybody if anybody has any questions or, I know a lot of custom closet company owners around the country, so I'd be happy to recommend people.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Wasn't that amazing? huge thank you to Jennifer for not only sharing her story, but also giving us real, doable steps to bring more order and intention into our lives and in our businesses. If you're feeling inspired to take charge of your space and want to learn more about Jennifer and her work, be sure to visit stlouisclosetco.com and check out the links in today's show notes where you can connect with her further. And hey, if this episode lit a fire under you, share it with a friend who needs a little extra motivation to clear the clutter and own her power. So until next time, stay bold, stay brilliant, and remember your environment can empower your success. You've got this.